So we don't have a ton of sources tonight, which sounds like it may be a good thing anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
Plus,
but
with me being kind of still under the weather, I mean, I'm good enough to go to trivia, but like that means anything.
we do have, let me put it down here just so I remember to read the guy's email.
Oh, cool. Oh, love it when we've got somebody's email to read.
Well, this one's kind of an interesting one. But I figure we should address it because there's probably other people that are of the same mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's like, who the heck is Terry Wolf and why do I care about him? Because you guys talk about him every week. So,
He is pokey celebrity Terry Wolf.
yeah, he is well known in the community.
Right. Okay. Then and I've
Oh, yeah, I
already
was going to
logged in
do
as
the,
Charles, so.
what are these guys called again? The lake, what are they called? Of course, the announcement doesn't even mention what they're actually called. Jerk. The Lake Trio, the Lake Guardians. That's what it is. That's what I'm going to do for trivia tonight.
Oh,
Are we
cool.
live?
We are live.
All right. Spoiler alert.
Those of you who got in early, that's the job hazard.
You know what? I don't have a source talking about some of the new Gen 4 Pokemon that rolled out.
Mm. You mean the three? I
No,
thought I
not the
saw that
Lake,
at the very top.
not the
No.
Lake Guardians. There's
Oh.
another set.
Oh, are there really? Okay.
There's more. Yeah.
No, I get that reference, Zenzalu, and it makes me sad about Peter Mayhew.
Yeah.
He stepped on me at DragonCon a few years ago. He stepped on me and Nicole Spagnolo. We were sitting on the floor in front of our booth, getting stuff set up, and he was making his way into signature or autograph alley, and accidentally stepped on us. Super nice. Like, you talked to him for the briefest of seconds, just, his apology, and we're like, oh, no worry. I mean, if there's anybody we want to step on us, it's you. And he laughed and then went in. So wasn't really as much a chat as it was an apology.
Yeah. I met him at DragonCon. Well, met being relative. I was in the same room as him and listened to his panel at DragonCon a couple of years back, and he just seems like an awesome guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally is.
Yeah,
Zenzalu, I get that it's a Star Wars reference. So's Peter Mayhew. He was a guy who played Chewbacca and just passed away. That's actually why I thought you brought it up. Or you were just referencing spoilers because Joe let out a spoiler.
I'm not going to say what it is because who knows who has and hasn't seen Avengers yet.
Yeah.
And it only came out last week. But my sister was saying that someone on her Facebook feed said, if you haven't seen it yet, you're not a true fan. Here's what happens, and spoiled a ton of stuff.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, and she hasn't seen it yet because she just had surgery a couple weeks back. And so she can't sit down for that long yet because of her surgery.
Hmm.
Hey, you got some love in the chat there.
Oh, thanks, K-Rose CG. I appreciate that.
All right, I'm trying to see if I can find a list real quick of the new Gen 4 Pokemon that just came out. The ones that are not the...
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not the list. Son of a biscuit eater. And the sad part is Gen 4 is one of the ones I know the least about. And so if I saw the picture of it, I'd know. It's got two different forms. It's got a pink form and a blue form.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
We've got a lot of people that I haven't met before. Yeah, Pokeballs like, please don't spoil. Yeah,
we wouldn't do it.
I am very conscientious when it comes to spoilers.
Me too. I mean, I swear I'm not even going to mention Thanos' third nipple, because that's like such a major factor in the movie. And oh darn, what did I say? Yeah, I'm hoping to go see it. If not this weekend for a second time, I got to see it in IMAX apparently, because this movie. People are saying this movie is made for IMAX. So
yeah, I have a confession. Although I'm sure I would love IMAX, I've never actually been to an IMAX showing of anything.
Oh, really? Of anything? Wow.
Yeah, it's the poor man in me.
Oh.
Always goes to the cheapest 2D.
Well, I don't blame you.
So
I'd rather see 2 2D movies than 1 IMAX movie. How's that?
There you go. Alberto's second showing was what? So many emojis. 5-second timeout. All right, Bean Valine. I don't know who actually set up Nightbot, but he is overly aggressive, so be warned.
That's funny. Oh, Alberto says, my second viewing was IMAX. Huge difference. Ooh. Ooh. No.
All right, should we get this party rolling?
Yes.
I didn't find the list, but I'll mention the ones that I know of.
Okay. Cool.
So we'll just
I didn't realize there. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize there were that many. I assumed that the things that I was seeing, like the Shadows 4, like, oh, keep an eye out for these guys, was just the lake.
No, there was a couple other that temporarily they were Shellos. Shellos is the one that I was thinking of. I don't know if there's more than that, but they have two different colors, pink and blue. And for a while, they were both spawning in the same location, but I think they're going to end up being half the world regionals, just like Volbeat and Illumis and those guys.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. All right, if you're ready, I'm ready. We can do it.
Let me make sure my phone is on silent just real quick.
Dang it, please record permission from the meeting host. I logged in as the freaking meeting host. Are you kidding me? Come on here. It says I'm Charles McFall. Do I have to log out and log in?
I don't know.
Let's see. Claim host. I'm the host now. That's what it says. Look at me. I'm the host now. All right, let's turn on. Let's close the participant window.
All right.
Yeah,
so you're just popping out and hopping back in.
No, I don't need to.
Brian Ibbett on mine.
Yeah, I know, but now I've got the little icon next to record. So
those icons are important.
They are, but now I can't get rid of the. I guess it doesn't matter. It's still doing the same. Still doing the same window size. All right, here we go. Recording now. And starting the show. Hello and welcome to the Pokémon GO Podcast, your #1 source for news, reviews, tips, and techniques to help you catch 'em all. I'm Brian Ibbett, one of your hosts here. With me, I say as always, he is here as always. I wasn't here last week. He was here last week. Mr. Joseph Ard.
Howdy. How's everyone doing? Although you say as always, but there's a very good chance that I will not be here next week.
Well, yeah, and for very good reason.
99% chance.
For exciting reason, too. Have we talked about that on the show as to why you won't be here? And we don't have to.
We've mentioned it. I haven't kept it a secret, but yeah, me and my wife are having a new. Well, I mean, I say me and my wife. My wife is having a new baby next week.
Well, you helped.
Yeah, I helped. I helped.
Yeah, your work starts
stuff up off the floor for her quite a bit, especially the last few weeks.
Well, and you will be. Your services will come into play even more so. As you know, you've got kids. You're familiar with how that goes.
Oh yeah. And luckily, last year my work added a new bonus, a perk to the job where I get 4 weeks of paid parental leave as the non-birthing parent. I get
the NBP.
4 weeks.
Sure. Excellent. Well, very good. Well, you probably can hear that Charles is not on today. Charles had a class that he was teaching tonight, so it is just Joe and I, me, fresh back, quote unquote, fresh back from Las Vegas. I was in Las Vegas last week for the Viva TMS Vegas meetup, and that was a blast. A lot of Pokemon players out there, and really my experience of the week. Oh, thank you, Popeye705, subscribing. My experience of the week is all about that fun time last week. Thanks to meeting up with some friends, well, definitely some friends. I now am the proud owner of a Torkoal.
Oh, nice. And so I guess I don't need to save.
You don't need to save one for me anymore. And a Carnivine.
Back on the market, baby.
There you go. Feel free to give that one away to somebody more deserving or more needing. So Carnivine and Torkoal, I've now got, thanks to a friend of the program, Barry Folks, who we'll both be seeing in about a month and a half. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Very excited about that news. And so that's my experience of the week, is that I've got a couple new Pokemon that I did not have to work very hard. I just had to spend some Stardust. That's fine. I can spend a little Stardust. But tell me about your experience of the week.
Oh, man, this week has been fantastic. Like, amazing. Ooh. So, of course, we had a bunch of Earth. I always say Earth. Ground-type Pokemon spawning all over the place. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? I don't really care if I get a blue-nosed Diglett. Mm-hmm. And so right after I think that in my mind, I click on a Diglett and bam, it has a blue nose. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's the key to getting a shiny. You just have to decide you don't care.
Right. As soon as you don't want one.
And then immediately after that, the next Pokemon I click on was a Cubone, and it's a green Cubone. It's a shiny Cubone. So that's pretty awesome in and of itself. I didn't get a new shiny Meltan, but I have one more opportunity to try for that before the shiny goes away again. So that'll be great.
Yeah, I hauled my Switch all the way to Las Vegas to help people get some Meltan boxes. I never remember to bring it to places where we were all going to be hanging out together. So, and I thought, all right, well, I've got it at the hotel. People will come over back to the hotel, and I'll bring it, down to the bar or whatever. No, never did that either. We were just running from place to place. It was a madhouse. And at some point I'll post the video, but I jumped off the stratosphere while I was there. 107 floors up, jumped off, lived to tell the tale.
Apparently Charles is scared to take his Switch out. He's not bringing it to Go Fest with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm not planning on it either, but only because I'm not bringing anything to Go Fest. I'm bringing my phone. I'm probably bringing my iPad. the clothes on my back, and that's it. So like, the smallest of backpacks or carry-on bags or whatever, but I'm going to be as um, traveling light as they come. So
Now,
let's hope nothing happens with my return flight and I don't get stuck in Chicago, because then I've got to go buy underwear and toothpaste and a toothbrush and all that.
yeah. Now, one thing to note, because you're going to be basically carrying everything that you're bringing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, you could leave it in.
I could leave it
Probably
in Barry's car or someplace. Yeah.
But one thing to note, while I'm thinking about it, um, the rules for GoFest, and we could talk more about this later.
Yeah, we should.
The
Yeah.
rules for GoFest is clear backpacks.
Oh, really?
They had that
Okay.
rule last year, and
Mhm.
they didn't enforce it at all. But that is technically one of the rules. 2 years ago, when they were at Grant Park, which is where they're going to again, they also had that rule, and they didn't have that rule, but they did backpack checks.
Hmm.
So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, yeah, it's a good. I think I can wrangle one of those clear backpacks like a 13-year-old girl and stick my iPad in there. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I bought a clear backpack specifically for it, but they they didn't care at all last year at Lincoln Park.
Mhm.
I want to say someone told me last year that the reason why it's a rule for GoFest is because it's a law or a statute in Chicago for events of that reach a certain size of
Mm.
people. So I could be wrong on that. It's been a whole year. I've slept a few times since then.
Well, and
Um,
the only reason I'd be bringing it is because I'm a movie snob and I can't watch a movie on my little iPhone screen. Because otherwise, it'd be like, all right, yeah, the only reason I'm bringing it is just for entertainment on the plane. I could just watch something on my iPhone and and be fine with that. So yeah, it's just me being a snob, movie
yeah.
snob. Hey,
Well, and
look,
it could just be a KMA measure with the clear backpacks, where look, we're not going to look through your backpacks, but they better be clear.
mhm.
So that way, if people cause trouble, they're like, look, we had this rule. Yeah, I don't know.
KMA. What was
Cover my,
Oh, okay. I spell
or
cover
I
with a
guess,
C,
yeah, that's true.
but then again, I'm just
CMA. Why am I
Coverville.
saying
What do
KMA?
I know? I thought it was
KMA.
kick
Kill,
my
kill
it was
my,
kick my ass.
yeah. Sorry, CMA.
Right. Okay, cool.
But yeah. So we'll talk more about GoFest later on. Why don't we go ahead and start with some new Pokemon that are popping up
Yeah.
around. So they first announced it on the 29th, so 3 days ago, that unidentified Pokemon. And then, of course, they have the silhouettes of, who's
Hmm.
that
Right.
Pokemon?
The outlines. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So um, this is the Lake Trio or the Lake Guardians. It's Uxie, Mesprit, and I'm probably mispronouncing all these, and Azelf. And they are regional legendaries. And as far as I know, this is the first on many occasions, for many things. One, this is the first time legendaries have been regional. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, right?
As far as I know, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think so.
And so they're regional legendaries. They're spawning in the wild as well.
Right, which is an interesting thing to do. I mean, I guess it's like Weasel kind of thing, where you've got uh, Weasel available, launched in raids, and is now available also or I guess Weasel was available in the wild before it was in raids.
Yeah. And Jacket K points out the Beast Trio.
Mm-hmm.
So Suicune, Raikou, and Entei were semi-regional because they had them on a rotating
Mm-hmm.
basis.
And it's possible they'll do that with these guys, right? Like at the
Yeah.
end of May, they might say, okay, now Azelf is going to come to the US and blah, blah, blah.
Which would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've, I guess we should actually give the details of what's going on other than
Yes, right.
that. But starting today, and until May 27th. So they've been spawning in the wild the last couple of days, but now they're also going to be popping up in raids between today and the 27th of May. And Uxie, which let me pull out my little cheat sheet of which is which, because Gen 4 is one of my I never played the Game Boy games.
It's your Achilles heel, right?
So Uxie, which is the yellow one, he will be popping up in the Asia Pacific area. Mesprit, which is the pink one, will be popping up in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and India. And then Azelf, which is the blue one, is popping up in the Americas and Greenland. And then they make sure to state, if you're extraordinarily lucky, you may encounter these extremely rare legendary Pokemon in the wild in their different regions, even after the event. So I wonder if they will be. I wonder if they will rotate, because that the verbiage of that almost makes it sound like they won't. It would make sense that they do, and they probably will. But that verbiage almost
it sound like they're just going to drop, at the end of May, just drop to being available in the wild. And that even raises the question, will all three of them be available in the wild everywhere, or will only the one that was in your region be available in your area?
It said in their different regions, so I think specific to that region.
Okay. By the way, Trainer CJ says it's Uxie. Uxie.
Not to be confused with Moxie.
No, you got a lot of Moxie, kid. So, and Uxie's, let's see here. I've got it. Let's see. Well, Azelf or Azelf is the one that we get here in the U.S. And Giratina original form, origin form Giratina, Gengar, Mewtwo with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball, Tyranitar with Bite and Crunch, attack form Deoxys and Weevil are the best counters for Azelf, being a psychic. It's weak against Bugs, Dark, and Ghost.
Yeah, all three of them are psychic types.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then in addition to these guys popping out, they actually added another new Pokemon. But apparently it was a mistake. They weren't, because they've been pulled. But Stelos was temporarily available in the game, both of its forms. So it has a pink form and a blue form. The pink form represents the West Sea form, and the blue form represents the East Sea form. And they're sea slugs. But they were popping up for a couple of hours earlier this week.
Interesting. And just obviously appeared to be a mistake, so probably somebody flipped a switch that they shouldn't have flipped. And there's the two. So the pink one's got like a bunch of bulbs on its head, and then the blue one just has two little pigtails.
Yep.
They look like inflatable ducks or inflatable beach toys.
See, I was thinking they looked like baby Laprases almost.
Oh yeah,
like larval forms.
Right. But do they both evolve into the same looking Gastrodon?
Yeah.
Okay. So no difference in the Gastrodon that you get.
Well, but they're still pink and blue.
They keep the same color. Okay. So I see the Gastrodon that's blue and green. I didn't see one that was pink and white. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a pink and brown color.
Okay.
So yeah, there's the blue and green, and then the pink and brown.
Interesting. Oh yeah, there we go. Pink and brown. Like Neapolitan ice cream right there. Cool. Well, so hopefully that means, and this is a Gen 4 one, right? So it's not like they accidentally flipped the switch on a Gen 5 that they weren't supposed to. This probably will be out before too long.
Yeah. and maybe it'll be a surprise one that pops out
At GoFest.
At GoFest, or was released for GoFest.
Could be. Yep.
But maybe it's sooner than that, since they apparently did a live test.
Right.
They've been doing that a little bit lately, these live tests. Remember when we were talking about the shuckles that were spawning for a couple of hours?
Oh, yeah, right. Before they went all over the place. Yeah.
So.
Makes you wonder if they're accidental or if they're just calling them beta tests.
I think they're doing it on purpose.
So,
but if you wanted to show the people on the stream Shellos, you could pull up Terry Wolf's profile, and he's walking.
Yeah, pulling it up right now. So, of course, Terry Wolf got one.
Yep. So, but anyway, yeah, so they've been popping around. In addition to that, Niantic also pulled the trigger on some new shinies that were, as far as I know, not part of any event. I'm trying to think if there's an event that I've forgotten. But anyway, the new shinies are Seel and Dugong.
Oh, cool.
So they're popping up out and about. So if you see a Seel, click on it and go for it. He's vanilla.
Like beige. Yeah. Vanilla is a good way to describe it.
Vanilla Seel with the Gastrodon, the pink and brown Gastrodon. Pure Neapolitan right there.
Totally. Oh my God, this is making me hungry for ice cream.
I have some Neapolitan ice cream upstairs.
Do you?
I do. So.
Did you know that Neapolitan is a version of Spumoni? Spumoni came first, and there was a version of that for Naples, and they called it Neapolitan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right. Crazy. There's your trivia. Ice cream trivia. All right, so cool. So Seel and Dugong. Yeah, it'll be, it's another one to look for. I've given up on trying to get, every shiny that appears. Some of them I still don't have a shiny Pidgey. I did get a shiny Rattata.
I have not.
Yeah, but still haven't seen a shiny Pidgey. Anyway. But maybe you can catch one during dinner, he said, as a segue into our next topic.
Except they don't announce it ahead of time.
Right? I know. Surprise dinner. Yeah.
And that's the point of this particular entry in our source, is that this person, and I mean, it's a lot of people are saying it, but we'll give the credit to Funky Woof or Woof, how they live in Australia, and so they get absolutely no heads up at all, whereas they can let other people know, because it's based on time zone, that, hey, by the way, a legendary dinner raid happened. And so the one that just happened the other day,
yesterday,
it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh man,
I know. You got a lot going on. It's totally fine. Yeah, I'm sure they do.
So it happened yesterday. It was a surprise, but if you are further west than Australia, you may have found out thanks to Reddit or Discord.
So it's like they don't shift the time of the event, but they shift the time that they announce it. Is that right? Or am I getting it?
No. They don't announce it at all. They just, it's 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. based on local time.
Gotcha. So
it triggered in Australia, in Asia Pacific first. And so they're like, hey guys, heads up, this is coming. And so other people found out about it ahead of time, thanks to the people in Australia who were surprised.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, it's
getting phone calls during the show. No, don't call me. I'm doing a show.
Apparently Terry really likes the surprise raid events. I know a lot of people would prefer to have advance notice, because they can't just drop things at the they can't just drop everything and go. But
so far, both lunch hours and legendary lunch hours and legendary dinner hour, the one, have all been while the weather is crummy here in Colorado. It's either been blizzard conditions for
Polar
lunch.
vortex.
Right, exactly. Or last night was rainy and sleet, and we'd just come off of another big snow. So it's like, all right, let's get into spring and summer, further into spring, and then into summer, and then let's bring these legendary lunch hours and dinner hours back. But right now, it seems like Niantic is causing the bad weather in Colorado. Honestly.
Yeah. In the comments on this post, one guy's like, "Hey, we had a total of 2 hours notice thanks to my friends in New Zealand." But yeah, so New Zealand might be the first ones hit actually instead of Australia, but still.
Right. Yeah,
it's rough.
That is rough. Jeez. All right, well, let's talk about GoFest, because you and I, we haven't announced on the show yet, but we will be at GoFest. I mentioned last week that I bought tickets, or a ticket, to fly to Chicago for GoFest in the hopes and preparation that I'd be getting to go. And sure enough, all the waves of tickets, there have been 27 waves of tickets so far. And
28 now, actually.
Oh, 20, because the newest one. Oh, right. Yeah, we're in the new one right now.
Yeah, I got picked on wave 28, the newest one.
Yeah, and my wife got picked in wave 28, and I still have not gotten picked, but that's okay. Charles got picked early enough to get tickets for all three of us, so we will be there.
Which is good, because your flight flies in Friday and out Friday.
Yeah.
And, right now, Saturday and Friday, gone.
Totally sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah.
So all that's left right now is Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah. So and those, I mean, you can see those would be the most, I'm sure Saturday was the first one to go, and that would be the most popular day, because people can fly in late Friday night, fly out early Sunday morning, and blah, blah, blah. And then Friday, it's like, all right, I got to take a day off of work, but I'll do it for this. Thursday, it's hard to like, well, then I got to take 2 days off of work, or Sunday is still a day off of work. So Terry Wolf, you come in. I
think Terry's going on Saturday.
Is he Saturday? Okay, so yeah, he probably won't get to meet me, which is crazy, because I feel like I know him already, and we'll talk about Terry Wolf later on in the show. But that'll be fun, and I know a lot of people will be out there. Zenzlu will be out there. Looks like El Barto will be out there. Of course, Barry and Bobby Ann will be there. I don't know, did Stephen Radke's he's in? So
yeah, Stephen Radke's in.
A lot of the crew, a lot of the people that we've been chatting with for months and years on for Pokemon Go will be there.
They're the guys over at Lord Up, Lord Up Podcast. They are getting together. We don't know the location just yet. They're still scouting locations, but we're planning on doing a meetup with a bunch of the different podcasts, a joint meetup on Friday night at 9:30. That's the last I heard.
Which is about half an hour or an hour after I leave for the airport.
Yeah. And so, but if you are in the Chicago area and you want to come, we'll try to keep you posted on the location when that is finalized. So,
cool.
Yep.
Excellent. Give everybody my best. Yeah, that'll be a blast. I wish I could go to that. Oh well.
But yeah, we've got a pretty sizable group of people for Friday.
Mm-hmm. Between all the podcasts and all the listeners to all the various shows, it should be a great meetup. I'll give you a cardboard cutout of me to take.
Even just walking around on Friday, at the fest, we've got a pretty good sized group. There's like 8 of us now, 9 of us that I know of,
which would be great.
So, and I know we've mentioned Friday, but we've got we're south entrance is our access gate. So I mean, theoretically it shouldn't be nearly as bad as Lincoln Park, where it takes you, if you're hoofing it, it still takes you like half an hour, 45 minutes to go from one end of the park to the other. Whereas this is considerably smaller, and perhaps that's part of the reason why they went to the smaller location and extended it to 4 days, so that which location you started at mattered a bit less. Maybe.
Yeah.
DC Zensalute chat telling me to get some rest. So for those that don't remember, and I think I've mentioned it within the last few podcasts, I didn't sleep hardly at all because I got stuck in an airport the night before. But luckily that was the day I wasn't playing. So that night I slept like 10 or 11 hours and I was good to go on my day to play.
Yeah,
so.
my rest will come on the flight out Friday morning, and on the flight back Friday night. It's going to be, I'm basically taking one. I'm not going to really say taking one for the team because you guys are going to be there, but I'm basically saying I'm devoting one day to this, and that's it. And I think you get one day of Coverville at Go Fest, and that's it. But and looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fantastic.
Cool. And it looks like, as of right now, Thursday and Sunday, both gates are even still available. So,
yeah,
if you
as far as so the who's running this thread? Raven Astra has been collecting reports of the waves as they come in and collecting reports of what's sold out and what's not. And everything early access either gate so far is available for Thursday and Sunday. Although Friday and Saturday completely gone.
And the way it worked last year is that you get basically a new research challenge that's specific to Go Fest, and you walk around the park completing the challenge, right? And you basically have the whole day to do it.
Yeah, well, and it's not like it disappears, although they are specifically geared towards Go Fest, the different tasks that you have to complete.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I know I'm getting at 9:30 means I'm probably not going to get there until 10:15, or I don't know how far the airport is from Grant Park from downtown. I know O'Hare, you got to go down the highway, and of course on a Friday morning, there should be a little bit of traffic, but just want to make sure that I'll have enough time to hammer everything out. Shouldn't be too bad. I'll grab a donut in the airport or something so that I don't slow anything down by needing to get food once I get there. Egg McMuffin in the terminal. Cool. Well, that'll be great.
But speaking of Go Fest, you haven't gone.
I have not.
Charles and I have, and so
separately,
I have some tips. Mm-hmm. And actually, this one's from Raven Astra too. So they're doing some great work over at the Sylph Road. But they have travel tips specifically for Go Fest. Mm-hmm. So one of the the biggest tip that this person has. Do you see just a few down?
No, I'm laughing at the first one. Go back to the hotel at 2 and take a quick shower and change clothes and shoes. Nope, won't be happening with me. Let's see what else we got.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen.
Right. Luckily, toilet paper, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. Luckily, this isn't a convention where you're stuck in a seat next to each other. There are a lot of bodies in there, so body odor will drift around.
I'm sure it'll come into play.
Since we're outside, hopefully it won't be too bad.
It's not like an enclosed like BlizzCon or DragonCon. There will be ventilation in the form of air constantly moving. Yeah.
So one of the tips they say is if you have the hotspot feature on your phone, make sure you know how to use it. Mm-hmm. So last year, Verizon went down for, I want to say like 45 minutes. Mm. And so this person, Raven Astra, was able to use a hotspot off of their friend who had AT&T. They did have spotty Wi-Fi so at Lincoln Park last year, so I assume, but with Niantic, assuming is a bad idea. But they might have some spotty Wi-Fi set up for Grant Park as well. But like I said, it's spotty Wi-Fi. It's better than nothing, but it not by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other tip that we were chuckling at says bring your own toilet paper. Last year, they ran out of toilet paper in those porta potties, and they did not restock.
Jeez Louise.
So that is a very good idea, is to
Man.
bring your own toilet paper. Um,
BYOTP.
yeah. Um, there's a bunch of stuff in here. A lot of it's personal hygiene stuff. Make sure you bring a hat and shades and a water bottle, a sunscreen. You're going to be out all day. We can't predict the future. We don't know what the weather is going to actually be like. So you may want to bring an umbrella or a poncho. And might want to bring a baggie to put your phone in so it doesn't get wet. So there's a lot of things to consider there. Make sure you bring any medicines you might think you might have. So if you get frequent headaches like I do, I'm going to bring some headache medicine with me. And things like that. Just realize you're going to be outside for an extended period of time.
Walking.
Bring what you're going to need.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to need nourishment so you don't pass out. You're going to need water so you don't pass out. Don't bring high heels because you're going to be walking a lot. Bring comfortable shoes that aren't going to tear up your heels and give you blisters. And just face it, it's Chicago in June. You're going to sweat a lot. So you may want to bring even a sweat rag to wipe off your sweat.
Yeah.
But, and I'll probably bring my little, I felt super nerdy with it, but it was awesome. I'm not going to lie. I have a little fan that goes around my neck and it blows air into my face. It's an electronic fan.
Nice.
And, that was great for the 45 minutes or an hour that the battery ran on it. But, yeah. And last year, the first day there was some rain, so that is a possibility. So, but yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, as we get closer, I'll start figuring out what kind of weather I'm gonna have to plan for and bring stuff for. Yeah, I think the clear backpack probably be happening, and just to be on the safe side, I know people are saying that that they didn't check last year, and you mentioned that. It's like, I don't want to even take the chance because it's not like I have a really convenient place to put it if it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Well, and I'm planning on, if I can get away with it, I'm gonna bring my fanny pack because I'm a nerd like that. I fully accept. People in chat are like, nerd. Yeah, I fully accept it.
Yeah, sure.
I am a nerd. I am not cool. It's okay to be not cool. I know what I like and I do what I like.
Right.
And Pokemon is what I like.
Sure.
So I make no apologies.
And you know what? You can get a clear backpack. I'm looking on Amazon right now.
It's like $12.
Exactly. 10. Yeah. There's some heavy duty ones. There's, I wouldn't mind getting one that's got like the little mesh pouch on the side, so you've got a place to put your water bottle instead of putting it inside. Yeah, and you can get, different colors for the edges.
Yeah, there's some people were wearing them last year, but there's one with Pokemon on it with Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Pikachu, and then the parts that didn't have Pokemon were clear.
Oh, that's interesting. You just get stickers. Just get your clear one and put a few stickers on it.
Yeah.
But cool. Yeah.
So, and then for getting around, one thing to note, at least last year, I had a spotty reception outside of the park last year. So getting a lift to leave was actually, I couldn't get the app to work. So just be careful if Lyft / Uber is your only option. You might want to have a backup plan just in case.
Yeah.
Um, uh, in this, they say just don't drive your car.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in general, that would be fine. I do want to give a tip, thanks to a friend of ours, Barry. There are spot saving services that you can pay, $10,
Right.
$12
Where you
to save a
pre-order.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could save the spot today for GoFest. And yeah, Barry got his. He said it was $10 to save a spot, like within a block of the park, for from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So,
think that's definitely the way to go.
um, but besides the car, there are several bus routes and there are some train routes. So you may want to familiarize yourself with some CTA bus route and some public traffic. So,
Cool.
but besides physically preparing for the Go Fest, the amazingness that will be awesome. Um, I actually had someone in our Discord. It was Buckeye Fitzy, um, aka Legal Geek. He was asking what I spent my Pokemon coins on, because last week I mentioned I'm saving coins for GoFest. So he asked me what I spent coins on, and I told him at that point I wasn't 40. I'm not too worried about experience right now, but incubators, lucky eggs, and and star pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And the group that I was with last year, we had our star pieces and lucky eggs synced within about 5 minutes of each other. And so when we were running out, we're like, hey,
It's a good
it's
reminder for
about time
everybody.
to pop your lucky egg.
Yeah,
About time to
smart.
pop your star piece. And so those things are awesome. Incense, if you're very good with the quick catch technique, incense could be worth it.
Mm.
But last year there was so many spawns. Like the spawn density was ridiculous, that there were parts where I was like, okay, I've I've seen enough Alolan Executor. I don't want any more.
Right.
And so I was just clicking on the ones that I wanted. But it was, yeah, the spawn density was pretty out there. But if you're really good at the quick catch, incense would be a great thing to have as well. Though I don't know for certain if they spawn the special. I would assume they would, but that's me assuming again. Assuming with Niantic is very bad. So I don't know if they would spawn the event Pokemon, to be honest. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's another thing to consider is Pokecoins and having. Um, Actually, the first thing I bumped up last year was my items. I bumped my items and I bumped my Pokemon storage up because
Definitely want to have your Pokemon storage up here for this.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna be hanging on to a lot of Pokemon, and the having your item storage will help, especially if you do it sooner rather than later, because then you can start stocking up on Ultra Balls, stocking up on Golden Raspberries, so that you know less of these special Pokemon run away from you. I don't know about you, but I'm planning on throwing a Golden Raspberry and an Ultra Ball at every Pachirisu that I run across.
Yeah, or silver pin app. If you want to get some um,
Extra candies on it.
extra candies. Yeah, depending
Yep.
on how likely to run away it is. I guess the golden raspberry gives you that um,
Extra umph.
extra umph. Exactly.
Well, and I think I've got like 350 golden raspberries right now. So,
Yeah, I've got a surplus of those. I'm running low on pin apps, so I think between now and then, I think I'm not spending any more pin apps. But I'm at 115 golden raspberries, 36 silver pin apps.
you got quite a few more silver pinups than I do. But yeah. Yeah, 330 golden raspberries is what I'm sitting on right now.
Jeez, very nice.
But yeah, stocking up on Ultra Balls and golden raspberries is a great idea. I would make sure before you even show up to the event, clear out Pokemon space.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we were saying, Pokemon space is going to be crucial. You don't want to waste time during the event clearing out space because there's so many Pokemon, like we were talking about just a moment ago.
For sure.
You
Yeah.
don't want to be passing those up.
Yeah.
So,
for sure. Yeah, that's I'm not going to wait until the flight out to try and do. I guess I can't do it on the flight, but waiting at the airport, it's going to be like, nope, clear out. Got to have at least 150 open spots, because the last thing I want to do is have to go there and catch, delete, catch, delete, catch, delete. I'd rather, while I'm waiting for my flight, then go through and clear out stuff that's not as good or whatever.
Yep. But
yeah,
last year they had no gyms, so you don't need to worry about stocking up on raid passes, because there probably won't be raids at GoFest. Like we mentioned before, it consumes a lot of bandwidth to do raids. It's one of the most resources consumed in the game are in gyms. So they just said, nope, we're not doing that this year, not at all. They even got rid of gyms that were normally in the park for GoFest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just temporarily eliminated them just in case. That's funny.
Yep. So
cool.
Yeah. And if your phone overheats, that's not a good idea either. So you may want to bring, I talked about that fan for me. You may want to bring a fan for your phone.
Right.
So, but yeah.
I'm trying to think of other things you can do to keep your phone cool, especially if it heats up, not just while you're using it, but also when you're charging it, because sometimes
bring a battery pack, because I don't know of any phones that can play Pokemon Go for 8 hours without a battery pack.
No, it definitely, even the brand new XR or 10Rs can't do that. So yeah, definitely. I've got an Anchor battery pack that actually fits in my. I'll probably be wearing a. Well, no, it'll be too warm for a vest. Even I was thinking, wouldn't be wearing a jacket, but I might wear a vest and a t-shirt. But we'll see. That does give me extra storage. I'll have it in my clear backpack that I'm ordering.
So, yeah.
Cool.
It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be awesome. Make sure you check the event page on what is specifically allowed and what is specifically prohibited. So, because there's several things in there that you may want to. I mean, last year they didn't do any checks, so. Will they do any checks? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
but
you'd hate to get there and find out they are doing checks, and you assume that they weren't. Is there a link to the? There isn't a link to the official event page on this.
I just linked it in chat.
You did, okay.
And then I put it in our show notes as well.
Cool.
But if you scroll down to the bottom of that, there, like almost the very bottom, it talks about allowed and prohibited items. For instance, cigarettes, e-cigarettes, vaping, all of that is prohibited. So, yeah, there's that. You can't have aerosol sunscreen.
Okay.
Professional recording equipment, video or audio, is not allowed. You can have a GoPro, but that's as high up as you can go, and only a GoPro without the accessories. So unless you have special permission to do so,
right?
Which makes me wonder. As
press, we might, if we get press
we're still
passes.
hoping to get the press passes.
Yeah,
but I wonder if the press pass little badge that they hand out, I wonder if they're going to change it this year. I assume they will, but I'm tempted to bring mine from last year just to see. So, anyway,
and they give a size. Well, they just basically say standard school-sized backpacks for the clear backpacks. So, and they allow binoculars. Why you'd want to bring binoculars?
Why wouldn't you want to bring binoculars?
Oh, I
Uh,
guess there's a stage thing, right? Like they actually.
there wasn't last year,
Oh.
but at Grant Park when Charles went, there was a central stage.
Mm-hmm.
So there may be a stage. Last year, the stage was more along the lines of there were individual stages in the team tents. So if you went over to the Mystic tent or if you went over to the Valor or the Instinct tent, they had um, MCs there doing different contests or facilitating trades between people. Like they're like, hey, I've got such and such. I
Mm.
want a Tropius, or this guy's looking for a Tropius. What do you? Anyone got a Tropius to trade him? And so they would facilitate trades at the different tents. That was kind of neat
Sure.
there. So
That's cool. Um, yeah, there we go. Factory sealed bottles of water. Refill them throughout the day at the free water filling stations.
which those ran out last year. So you may want to bring multiple water bottles
Mm-hmm.
just in case, or at least a big one.
Yeah, I'll bring a. Actually, I've got a great water bottle, a reusable aluminum one, which is allowed. And what I'll do is I'll bring that, and I'll actually have another actual bottle of water that I can use once the water stations run out.
Yep.
Cool.
And a lot of these, if it's for a medical need, they will make an exception for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Sure. I medically need to have my GoPro accessories.
Well, I was looking specifically at, they said coolers are not allowed.
Right.
Unless you have a medical need.
My extra heart is in here.
So
Cool. All right. Very good. Yeah, this is a very handy page to have as well. So we'll make sure that we have that link in our show notes as well. Awesome. All right. Well, excellent. Well, that takes us over into our takes us over into our timer check. Joe, my watch, I think you may have stopped. I think I had to take it off for GoFest. But what time is it?
it is time for random trivia. And this week I wanted to talk about the Lake Guardians. Gasp. Surprise.
Wow. What made you decide to pick these guys?
Because they're brand new to the game.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about them in the past because they were teased in the Generation 4 artwork months ago when Niantic first teased Gen 4. So I'm kind of surprised it took them this long to pop out, but yeah. Anyway, so what did he say? It was Yuxie?
Yuxie. Mm-hmm.
Is the knowledge Pokemon. They're all psychic, and they all have different characteristics. So Yuxie is the knowledge Pokemon, Mesprit is the emotion Pokemon, and Azelf is the willpower Pokemon. So knowledge apparently has to do with yellow, emotion is pink, and willpower is blue. Though if you talk to Green Lantern, willpower is green, but whatever.
And wow, there's no connection at all to Valor, Mystic, and Instinct on these, is there?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, same colors. Interesting. Okay.
Those emotional Valor people.
Right, exactly. I don't know what they're talking about.
So the Pokedex entry for Yuxie says known as the being of knowledge, like we were just talking about, but it said that it can wipe out the memory of those who see its eyes.
Oh, interesting. So, yeah, I'm seeing amnesia as one of its moves.
Yeah, which amnesia is kind of a funny move in general because it confuses the person who uses it and increases their special attack, which yeah, it's self amnesia. And then there's
gotcha. It's not against the opponent. That's interesting.
Yeah. So and then there's Mesprit, the one that's over emotion. Apparently, in the Pokemon universe, Mesprit taught humans the nobility of sorrow, pain, and joy. So, yeah.
Wow.
Looking at these, I'll get to Azelf in a minute, but looking at these, it makes me wonder when we're going to get some of the, if we're going to get any of the mythical Pokemon, their shiny forms, because we have yet to get a mythical shiny.
Oh, right. Well, didn't Didn't
Oh,
somebody post photos of
wait,
their
Meltan's technically mythical.
right?
He's
And didn't somebody post a color like a Mew, a
a blue
shiny
Mew.
Mew?
No one's caught one in Pokemon Go, but Mew
Okay.
is blue. The shiny form is blue.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then Azelf, the willpower Pokemon, his Pokedex entry specifies that it sleeps at the bottom of the lake to keep the world in balance. I don't know what that has to do with willpower. To me, that's kind of the weakest of the
Yeah,
three.
it just sleeps in the lake. Great.
But, we get another interesting tidbit from Azelf's Pearl Pokedex entry where it um, says that it is thought that these three lake guardians all came from a single egg.
Hmm.
So their origination is from one
Interesting. They're
single egg.
triplets.
Yeah. The lake guardians. And
The
a
lake
lot of
guardian
people,
triplets.
a lot being relative, quite a few people are suggesting that they spawn in the wild near bodies of water, which would make sense as they are
Sure. If
called
they're
the lake
lake
guardians.
guardians, yeah, right.
Yeah. They are all based on um, spirits or sprites or pixies or fairies.
Hmm.
Take your take your pick. Um, the Yuxi, the name itself suggests it's derived from a pixie, possibly a combination of you and pixie. So
Okay.
yeah, there's that. Although in the German um, version of the game, it's named Self with an E at the end. So maybe it's Selfie? Probably not Self. Probably Self.
It's the selfie guardian. Remember, no selfie sticks at GoFest.
That's right. And then Mesprit comes from me and spirit is the thought
Makes
there.
sense. Sure.
So Yuxi is you, Mesprit is me.
Yeah, then what's
So
Azelf?
what does that leave Azel?
Yeah.
The thought there is us and elf.
Azelf. Okay, sure. Aw, me,
Um,
you, and us.
and us, which would fit with its Pokedex entry where it claims to be keeping balance for the world
Sure.
while it's sleeping at the bottom of the lake. So,
Ah, okay.
um, but yeah, so get out there, grab these lake spirits, these pixies, sprites, elves, whatever you believe them to look like, and these might be decent trading tools, especially if you're not in the U.S.
Exactly. Yeah,
If
if
you're
you're
traveling from,
European or coming from a different part of the world, bring a bunch.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
um,
there'll be plenty of Azelfs here. Azelfs.
and then we're running out of time, but next week we'll talk a little bit about Dortmund because they actually announced
Hmm.
some of the Pokemon that are going to be popping up at Dortmund. But we'll talk about that next week.
Does that that takes place before GoFest, right?
Um,
Or is GoFest the
well,
first?
Go Fest. It is a Go Fest.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. I guess we can't. The Chicago GoFest takes place
Yes.
after Dortmund, right? Or are they? Let me see here. I'm gonna look right
Um,
now.
Tickets have not started selling July. It's the beginning of
Oh, it's
July.
after. Yeah, so it's
July
Chicago,
4th to July
June.
7th is the Dortmund one.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
but well, I guess since we're talking about it, just real quick, Carnivine is going to be popping up over there.
Oh, really?
So, yep, that's the regional that's going to be popping up over there. But we'll talk
Okay.
more about other Pokemon that are going to pop up there next week.
Nice. And which one did you say was going to be rumored for Chicago? Pachirisu?
Pachirisu.
Cool.
Yep.
Pachirisu. Excellent. Looking forward to that. All right, we do have some community feedback here. Let's go ahead and get to that. You've got the email there from a listener?
Okay. Basically, since we're running tight on time, this comes to us from a listener named Mark, and I'm just going to sum up the gist of what he said.
Okay.
Basically, he's like, "Why do you talk about Terry Wolf all the time?" Why do I care about Terry Wolf all the time? What's going on? This is your show. Why do I care about Terry?
Sure.
So Terry has been a longtime listener. He is a patron. He is well known in the community as well. He is on the leaderboards for having, I think he's in the top. I'd have to double check, but he's in the leaderboards for having the most experience. He's basically hit 40. It's either
5
6 or
times
7
over.
times
Yeah,
now.
right. Yeah. Something
And
like that.
he has guested on some of the other podcasts. We haven't had him on ours. We need to have him on ours. Dragons for Lunch says that he should be on the show, and I agree. We need to have him guest.
Yeah.
But he is, if something's happening, oftentimes he knows about it before we do, to be honest.
Right.
Just because he is constantly grinding, he's constantly playing. Just the other day, he was saying, "Oh, I went on a raid grind for 13 hours." When's the last time the average player went on it played for 13 hours, let alone just grinding on for 13 hours? So yeah, Terry plays a lot. He's very knowledgeable of the game, and he knows quite a few people in the circles. He knows, so he's contacted a lot of the YouTubers. He's contacted a lot of the podcasters, and so he's in a lot of inner circles. So that, in a nutshell, is Terry Wolf.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like the comparison. It's like
Lady Jasmine, do you see that? 13 hours in 1 week? Maybe. But in 1 day?
never
No.
in 1 day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean the fact that he's got a Shellos, that he grinded for 13 hours so that he could have a Shellos during that short period of time where they're available. That's a good example of how important the community is, or what a beast he is. He is a Pokemon Go beast. So he will definitely have him on the show, and it'd be great to actually hear his voice and have him be part of this. But think of it as like the sportscasters. They know a lot about football, but they're it's Eli Manning is who they're talking about, or Joe Montana, or somebody like that. John Elway, if you're a Denver aficionado. Cool.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. I don't actually follow like any sports. So.
Wayne Gretzky. Those are all football players, Joe.
Well, I knew that.
Okay.
I'm not that oblivious.
Okay, good. Well, excellent. That is going to take us right here to the end of the show.
I've got one.
Yes.
He is Pokemon Go's Faker. For those that play League of Legends.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Right.
There you go.
Faker it's a 3, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or Ninja if you're Fortnite.
League speak.
Right. All right. Hey, reach out and talk to us using our email, show@PokemonGoPodcast.com, just like Mark did right there. You can also go to our website, PokemonGoPodcast.com, and use our speak pipe. There's a button on there. You can record with a tablet, a phone, anything that's got a microphone, and it'll sound crystal clear for us. And we'd love to play your audio on the show. So use our speak pipe. We put it there just for you. You can also go to Reddit, our subreddit, as you might guess, is Pokemon Go Podcast. Facebook.com, Pokemon Go Podcast is where you go for that sort of thing. Twitter, Pokemon Go Pod is our address there. We're right here on Twitch TV every Thursday at 7:30 Eastern. I was thinking of Mountain Time, but 7:30 Eastern.
I wonder why you'd be thinking about Mountain Time.
Why would I be thinking about that? At Pokemon Go Podcast. And of course, by our swag, we've got it with the tiny.cc/GSTU. That'll take you right to our TeePublic page where you can get our swag.
Speaking of which, we're going to be putting 3 new shirt designs out there probably within the next week or two. And when that happens, our old shirt design is going to get retired. It may come back for special occasions, but in general, it's going to get retired.
That's it. Yeah, your last chance to get our current t-shirt. So go check that out at our TeePublic site. Joe, where can people follow you on the interwebs?
You can find me at Joseph_Ard.
You can
And if you want to,
yeah.
I was going to mix it up. If you want to follow Charles, you can find him at Rock God of Pod, which that's everywhere, but especially Twitter.
Yep. And you can follow me at Coverville. And again, that's also everywhere, everywhere that there's a name to be plugged in. Coverville is where you can do it. Excellent. We'll be here next week for another episode. Stay tuned and hear Joe say,
don't fall in the lake while you're searching for those lake guardians.
Well, if you do, you'll find that one that's sleeping in the bottom.
That's true. You'll find Azelf. And
right.
we'll cut out there, but for those that are on the podcast or that are here live, you can see a sneak peek of one of the shirts.
That's right. Very, very cool. That's the wisdom one featuring Joe.
So someone asked if they were specific for Go Fest. They aren't Go Fest centric per se,
but they will be available.
They will be there.
Fest.
Hopefully they ship before Go Fest. It is cutting it close, but you've got a raid near you.
I do. Yeah, I've been sitting here with this Azelf. That's
too bad you've got trivia tonight.
Too bad. Yeah, I've got a month to catch a bunch of these, so that's fine. He's so cute though. With his little tiny legs. He can't walk on those little legs. There's no feet. Anyway.
Well, as you can tell, he doesn't need to walk. He's flying around.
He flies, and he's so serious. Why does he have legs at all then if he just flies? Right?
Yep.
Crazy. All right. Well, I will let you do... I guess I have to be here to stop the stream. So let's really quickly do show titles.
All right. You got 2 minutes to vote.
Yes, that's it.
But we need the link. Oh. And I guess we should say thank you, Lady Jasmine, for the bits. This is I think the third or fourth week in a row that Lady Jasmine's given us bits.
Oh, well, thank you, Lady Jasmine.
Very,
we had
very nice.
I mentioned them at the first part of the show, but we had a subscription too. So, all right. So we've got the Selfie Guardian. We've got Who is Terry Wolf, submitted by Terry Wolf. Brian is Charles McFall. I can tell you. Oh man, just lost my pen.
I am the host now.
I kind of like that one too. I'd have to do the Captain Phillips thing with that one. Visualizing these, I feel like the Selfie Guardian is going to be the one that lends itself most to artwork. Charles is still not a god. Pokemon Selfie, Brian is Charles McFall, Go Fest Survival Kit. Yeah, I'm liking the Selfie Guardian. Mr. Tambourine 19. I think that's the one we're going with.
Alrighty.
So congratulations. It's a very, let's see here, and I can copy entry on copy, and then go to our show notes.
It really doesn't want to let you hover or copy it.
No, you got to use that. You got to use that. You got to use that link up at the top. Very cool. Excellent. Well, these are great. And we'll get that artwork tomorrow. And
thanks for coming out, everybody. Yeah, I'm sorry for the delay in on our last episode.
That was miscommunication on my part too. I didn't.
I assumed, and you know what assuming does. I assumed artwork was going to be handled by Brian, but he was out last week, and so I should have verified with him, and he was in Vegas having way too much fun to do artwork.
I really was, and
that was my bad. But did you see the artwork that I put out there?
No, I didn't. I need to take a look.
I slapped it together super fast, but
I do need to. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, you need to get out of here.
No, I was gonna say I do. Oh, that's perfect. That's great. I like the little mustache and beard and hat too. It's very cool.
The little Doc Holliday.
That's it. That's what it is. Yep. Very cool. All right. Well, have a great rest of your night, everybody. Stopping the stream.